I read an entire fantasy series in 1 week, and it completely transformed the work that I do, the energy that I have, and my ability to focus on what really matters. Here's why deliberately not trying harder made me more successful. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Bailey. I went from being a college student with a crazy idea to building a venture-backed tech company and landing on Forbes 30 Under 30. Today, I'm sharing this 3-part framework that revolutionized my productivity by making things easier and giving me my willpower back. I used to think that if I just tried harder, I'd accomplish anything I set my mind to. That if I just powered through, worked later, woke up earlier, made another to-do list, I would finally cross the finish line. But learning about willpower changed that completely. It taught me to ask a different question. And that question is, how can I make the things I'm trying to do easier? Since I started asking that question, I have achieved so much more in the past year than I did in the 5 years I spent just trying harder. Not long ago, I hit one of those moments where I had absolutely nothing left in the tank. I was going nonstop, back-to-back work trips, pitching investors, hiring and training new teammates, being on constantly. And by the time I got to the airport in Puerto Rico, headed home, I was bone tired. I wandered into the airport and I saw a shelf of 8 books. One of them was called A Court of Thorns and Roses, which apparently everyone and their mother has already read, but at that time I thought, sure, I have a couple long flights ahead of me, so I'll give this a chance. Within a week, I had read the entire series. I talked about it, I thought about it, I searched fan theories, and yes, looked at so much fan art. I basically paused my entire life to follow a fictional character's story arc. It got dark in there. But here's the thing. I've learned enough about willpower to know that my reaction, it was normal and honestly predictable. That's where the Willpower Instinct by Kelly McGonigal comes in. This book reframed how I think about discipline, and it put science behind everything I'd been learning the hard way. So here's the 3-part framework that revolutionized my approach to productivity. Part 1 is understanding the 3 powers of willpower. Willpower is not just one thing. It's actually 3 different powers. The first is called I will power, which is doing something hard or uncomfortable for the sake of your goals. The second is I won't power, which looks like resisting temptation. The third is I want power, which is remembering what actually matters to you in the long term and using that to inspire action, especially when the first 2 powers are exhausted. Willpower is a body-mind response. It's tied to your nervous system, your blood sugar, your sleep, your stress levels. You can't think your way into more willpower if your body is depleted. Studies show that willpower operates like a muscle. It can be strengthened with practice, but also fatigues with overuse. Research from Stanford found that participants who believed willpower was unlimited actually performed worse on self-control tasks. In another Stanford study, students were asked to memorize either a 2-digit or a 7-digit number. Then they were offered a snack, either chocolate cake or fruit. The ones with more mental load, the 7-digit group, they chose cake far more often. Just remembering a longer number used enough willpower to shift their behavior. Kelly McGonigal also talks about the what the hell effect, which can happen when we really mess up. She says when this happens, it can be easy to basically spiral and give up entirely. But she also says that guilt makes self-control harder, whereas self-compassion actually helps you reset and refuel your willpower tank. This adds even more scientific basis to why self-care isn't self-indulgent, but should be seen as willpower fuel. So tonight, instead of pushing through exhaustion, try taking a 20-minute break to do something purely enjoyable. Something that doesn't deplete your willpower tank, but feels like fuel instead. McGonigal recommends a list of things we can do to refuel our tanks, but also deplete our willpower less in the first place. It's taken me a lot of trial and error, but these are the most helpful systems I've implemented that either refuels my tank, reduces decision-making, or strengthens my willpower muscle over time. 1, I literally wear the same 3 outfits to work every day. This reduces decision fatigue, which helps keep my willpower tank full. I also, finally, started meditating, which helps with willpower because it makes it easier to recognize cravings as thoughts that don't have to completely take over. I also learned to take sleep very seriously, which might be the most important thing for willpower. Sometimes people are shocked when I say that I get 8 hours of sleep now because I used to survive on 4, but I am so much better at my job because of it. I also deliberately don't have an espresso machine at the office because I have exactly zero self-control when it comes to instant espresso. So instead, we have a tea station and as many healthy snacks and protein as we can so that I don't have to use willpower to resist food or drinks that make me feel worse or give me a huge crash later in the afternoon. And lastly, my least favorite, but maybe the most rewarding, is I take a cold shower at the end of just about every day. This can strengthen both willpower over time because you're conditioning yourself to face discomfort without panicking or quitting. But as a bonus, cold showers also give you a massive surge of dopamine. But unlike a sugar high or coffee or a scroll spiral, that dopamine boost comes without a crash, leaving you feeling replenished and ready for whatever's next. These systems are not about being perfect. They're about making it easier to do the things that really matter to us. And all of this awareness, this discipline, this rest, it all comes back to what McGonigal calls I want power, which is kind of like a North Star. She explains that this power can carry you forward even if your willpower is depleted. Taking a few minutes to think about what this is for you will already transform your willpower reserves. For me, beyond the day-to-day of company building, that North Star is showing that you can build a venture-backed company that actually makes the world better. Having a sense of that I want power or North Star helps remind me that I can't afford to totally burn out, because I know there might be other founders watching, founders who care as much as I do and who might be wondering if they have permission to build something truly impactful. Pursuing that goal sometimes means resting. Sometimes it means binging ACOTAR, and sometimes it means reorganizing all of my office snacks. But most of all, sometimes it means not trying harder, but instead asking, how can I make this easier? Because we all have some serious mountains to climb, and we're going to need a lot of willpower to do it. Now, I'd love to know which willpower strategy you're going to try first. Drop it in the comments and let me know. And if you're looking for more strategies about how to accomplish more by doing less, check out my video on The One Thing here. That book helped me dramatically increase my results by focusing on the right thing as opposed to trying to do it all. Okay, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.